Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name's Victoria, and we've got your daily reading for Wednesday, May the 27th of 2026. So this energy is still unfolding all through the rest of the week, this square with Mars and Pluto. Okay, so it's we're already seeing some stuff. I mean, it's hard to tell with some of these news cycles because it seems it's like continuous 24 hours a day. Try not to get too wrapped up in what is going on in your external world on the global stage, because you're likely to get confused, overwhelmed, anxious, all that stuff, right? And things unfold slowly, right? Things change slowly, but some things are a little bit closer to home. So with Pluto and Mars, where do you have your attention this week? What is unfolding for you? What is being revealed to you? What is changing, or what have you realized has to change in order for you to move forward or to grow and expand in a positive way, right? Mars and Pluto, right? The two the two bad boys of astrology, right? um there's I have seen a little bit more pushback from people, and that's bound to continue. Try and stay out of potentially volatile situations, right? Some really really poignant advice there. But there's bound to be, especially through this week and into next, more protests, right? People are fed up, people taking their power back. We see some politicians that are starting to grow a spine as well, right? On the global stage, we've got, a whole bunch of, things going on that are not comfortable, right? We've got some, viruses and things like that. We've got, I think in the UK, I think, there's calls for their leader to step down, and I'm not sure what that's all about, but I don't get too involved necessarily there. But, so there's a whole bunch of things that are unfolding. Okay, so one of the best things that we can do, right, is to ground ourselves, right? Mars is in Taurus, okay? Pluto is in Aquarius. So, really in the Aquarian energy, it's very connected with the cosmos, very connected with Uranus, right? So, the Great Awakener. So, it's a great week for you to take back your own personal power and to do some meditation, connect with the stars. Good time as well, because Mars is in Taurus, which is Earth sign. Good time to connect with nature, connect with the outdoors, right? So it is a tense week. And one of the best things that we can do is breathe in, breathe out, right? I do these readings, the day before, right? And so we just had, as I do this reading for Wednesday, it's Tuesday morning, and we just had, of course, the actual Mars Pluto square overnight, right? So it's going to be it's going to be a few days before we really see the aftermath of that. But I do know yesterday there was some tension building around, around a situation that I'm involved in. And I'm just like, I'm staying out of this one. I'm not going to get involved in the drama. And because I don't need to. Even though my instinct is to jump in and fix it, okay, or help with it. But I'm just like, nope, this is not my fight. Right. And so you may find that you need to do that this week. So let's have a look and see what we've got today. We've got breathe. There you go. Breathe is all about taking that step back. It's about connecting with yourself, your higher self, with the universe, spirits, angels, guides, you name it, higher power. Okay. Because that's part and parcel of how we're going to navigate some of these things, or how not to get, so anxious or tied up in global happenings, right? Remember, there are often some things that are well beyond your control. And we need to recognize that, right? So be conscious, be aware, but really focus on your own energy. Breathe can also represent to take things easy a little bit. Don't get involved in things that you don't need to get involved in. Is it your fight? No? Okay, well, be a support system. Okay, oh, hey, I'm here if you need me, right? But in the meantime, sit on the sidelines, and kind of embrace your peace. This can also be a message for you in times of tension or anxiety, take those deep breaths, okay? They really do help. Try it in threes. Big deep breath in, hold it for 3 seconds, slow exhale, and do that 3 times. That will center and ground your energy, release some tension, and you will feel a lot better. We also have flexible here. Now, this is card number 19, so it is related to the sun. Okay, the sun always encourages us to see the bright side of things, to get clarity before jumping to conclusions, and to have fun. Okay, and flexible energy here shows that there's something positive brewing in the winds here. Sometimes the truth will set you free, right? Pluto will reveal truth as well, right? So, maybe be honest with yourself or embrace some truths. Whatever it is, though, be flexible, right? Flexibility and adaptability are often our key to navigating difficult situations. They're our key to making change and solving problems, right? So be flexible. Be like that tree that is blowing in a windstorm. They bend, they don't break, right? Well, sometimes if the wind is strong enough, of course they will, but in the meantime, the branches, the leaves, the tree just sways, right? And that's what it's supposed to do. So be like that tree and be bendy. All right, and be really, really helpful. Okay, I will mention that the moon does move into Scorpio today. So the moon is still in Libra for the majority of the day, and just before 6 o'clock Pacific time in North America, which is just before 9, the moon will enter Scorpio. And of course, Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So something, again, you may recognize something that needs to change, or there can be something hidden that comes to light, right? Pluto likes to dive way deep, okay? But you could just be feeling kind of some transformative energy within you. You could also be feeling a little more connected, with your higher self in the spiritual realm, right? Pluto and Scorpio energy is very, very psychically gifted. You may also be feeling that you need to resolve something or initiate something with other people. Scorpio is the eighth house, and the eighth house in astrology does have to do with the things you share with others, whether it be property or money, whether it's your home, possibly. Today, we do actually have a square with the moon in Libra and Jupiter in Cancer, so there could be something going on at home. And then when the moon moves into Scorpio, this is where it's like, oh, okay, I see where we need to put our focus. I see where we need to release some tension. I see what we need to focus on for some positive change, right? So these things can really help us throughout our day. Let's see what is in the tarot. We've got the Three of Pentacles there. So that can be really focused on creating something. It's also about teamwork, learning, and teaching. So this can be where you start to see some results of something that you have been building, that you have been creating. You could also be recruiting some help today with that Three of Pentacles, because it can be one of like manually doing something, right? Is Pentacles, right? So something in your physical world. Maybe you've got, especially with that square in Cancer, which is the sign of the home, right? And expansion and growth is Jupiter, but we've got that square, so there's something stuck. And so if you're doing like home improvement projects, renovations, or painting your walls, this is where you may finally concede defeat. And you're like, okay, I'm stuck. I'm in an impasse. There's that square. I need some help. And so perhaps you can recruit some help for yourself, right? So any kind of home-based things or family-based things there. But we could also be with that Three of Pentacles. We could be seeking out some guidance, right? And seeking out whether it's mediation, which is Libran energy, where the moon is the majority of the day, whether it's mediation, whether it's just someone else's opinion, whatever that happens, mediators, counselors, all that kind of stuff, right? This is where you might get that support that you need. So whether it is help and support in some way, or whether it's everyone banding together to get a job done, the Three of Pentacles is actually a very positive card for the most part. And we're constructing something wonderful here, even if there's ups and downs. Got the Ace of Pentacles coming in with that. And so the Ace of Pentacles is something new, something fresh new ideas, right? This can be where we get some clarity, we get some knowledge. Okay, and why? Because we've gotten some help or support. If we put our ego aside and we've said, okay, I can't do this by myself, right? I need something, okay? And might be involving other people. But the Ace of Pentacles can show for sure, like, aces bring in fresh energy, they bring new beginnings in some way. And with that Ace of Pentacles, it's like, I have the knowledge, the information that I need, or I've got the resources that I need, right? So we're getting past some of this tricky energy, and we're seeing the positives, or we're seeing what fresh ideas or new beginnings or helpful resources are out there for us. And, so it's really positive with that Ace of Pentacles. Some of you are probably seeing with some of the energy this week, not going to lie, um, you know, Pluto, I mean, it's starting, with that square with Mars and Pluto, it can be really difficult for some people. And, Pluto is, of course, our planet of endings and new beginnings, right? Everything old is new again, or out with the old, in with the new. And with that Ace of Pentacles, you could really be getting some deep insights, and you could be seeing where I need to put something to rest so that I can have a fresh start, right? And it may involve other people, okay? It may involve relationships. It may involve, your career path. That, may involve friendships, right? Maybe it's something just within you. It's like, I can't carry this around with me anymore. I've got to start fresh. I've got to look at the new things that I can embrace. And of course, in order to make room for the new, we need to get rid of the old. So yeah, some of you could very much be seeing your way through to an ending. With that Ace of Pentacles, you can have gifts. You can have offers and opportunities that are opening up for you here. The Ace of Pentacles, aces do carry luck, but the Ace of Pentacles can be like some bigger luck, right? And so a lucky break, a lucky being in the right place at the right time, feeling like more abundance, more luck, more good things are flowing to you, which is a really good thing. And we've got the Seven of Wands. Okay, so standing in your position of power, being confident, overcoming obstacles and challenges, but you may need to stand up for yourself, right? The Seven of Wands is all about your power, your personal power, taking your power back, facing something head on, okay, in a really positive way, right? So you may find that you're advocating for yourself or other people. You may find that you are gathering some strength, right? And this can be something, around us as well, right? Standing up. And it's like, nope, enough is enough. This is not going to happen anymore. We're not going to do this. And it's like a big burst of fresh energy. You're also enforcing boundaries here with that Seven of Wands. Basically, you're standing your ground. You're at a high level here. You're overcoming things, right? So it can be really positive, but does require a little bit of strength. So, so that can be very helpful energy for you, especially if someone's trying to take your power away. Remember, even though Pluto is retrograde, and even though we've got this square with Mars, right, this can be really that fuel that you need to take your power back in a positive way, right? Not in a negative, negative dysfunctional kind of way, right? All positive here, okay, with this. I haven't, excuse me, I'm going to leave all that there for you guys. I hope there was something here for you. Let me know, how is this Pluto Mars square, unraveling for you? What's going on in your world? Are you just that observer watching some things with other people, and maybe you with that Three of Pentacles might be like just that guide, that support for others. It's like, I'm not going to get involved, but maybe I'll give you my version of what I see, right? It can be that kind of stuff. But let me know what's going on. It should be a very interesting week. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.